Hi, welcome to Madras Academy. In this session, we are going to learn about Angular. What is Angular? Understanding about Angular, Angular version, pre-requirement, about software and the software installation. These are all the topics we are going to cover in this session. First, what is Angular? Angular is a powerful framework. It used to create the front-end web application. It is a open source. Angular is actually an MVC framework, that is Model View Controller. View is a template. It's a client-side application. It is a template. So whatever the front-end application using HTML we created, that is in View. And a controller is nothing but we have a TypeScript code inside that, and all the functionalities we need to write it inside the controller. And the controller is going to communicate with the model, and in model we have only the database connection functionality method. For example, so inside that, if you are going to communicate with your database, in that time we need to add the service classes. Okay, that service class is called as a module here. So while you move on to that concept, and what is model, what is view, and what is controller, in practical session while we show that project structure, I will explain you that one. And it is a single page application framework for mobile and as well as desktop application. Okay, so what is mean by this single page application? For example, see, if you take this website, I'm taking W3 school website and as well as Angular website. And this website they created using ASP. Okay, normal ASP they created here. See, we have a different link. So once I click each and every link, see, here we have some reloaded, right? So once I click any one of the link from here, so each and every time the page is reloading, and it displaying the content, whatever the content we have in that particular page, it is displaying here. So each and every time it's loading. But when we move on to the Angular website, okay, see, here also we are having some header and side menu, and the side also we are having menu, and as well as we have footer menu, everything. And only this content, that is whatever the content we written in this place, that only it's going to change. See, I'm clicking what is Angular. See, this page is not reloaded. See, immediately it will move on to the next page. Okay, whatever the link we return there, say it's automatically it's moving to that. Only the content is changing, but all the other content as well as we are having. And see, once I click here, the page is not reloaded, but here you can see, once I click here, each and every time it's loading and it displaying the output. See, formatting, like then loading and it's displaying the content. Okay, that is a difference between a single page application. So here we don't have that much of the time to load that content. It won't take the time delay. But here, once you move on to the next page, it's getting time delay. So that is a difference between a normal web page and a single page application. And Angular is a single page application. Okay, so like this way we can create, and in that time we can reduce the time delay, and it will display the output without loading any other content. Whatever the content we are having in that page, that will display immediately. So that is one of the reason we are creating the single page application. Okay, and as well as we can use this application. Once you create the application, we can use that application in as well as mobile and desktop also. See, if I used that application in our system, in that time I'm having a full view, right? I'm having full view. if the same link, if you're opening in a mobile, in that time also it will automatically adjust the content and it will display the menus like this. Okay, and immediately it will display all the content, as well as whatever the height and width we are having in that, perfectly it will display the output here. Okay, then this is also the one more reason. But when we move on to here, here also we can do it, but see, here also we can do it, but each and every page, if you are going to reload, moving now, it will automatically reloaded here. That is the difference here. Okay, so to avoid that, we are creating this kind of application, and it was developed by Google, and it is a component based application for efficient development. Why we are telling like a component based application means, see, if you are creating any project, we are going to plan for the home page, okay, register, login, about the contact, like that, we are planning the pages, right? Front end page. In the same way, each and every page we need to give the designs, color, font, everything, right? So whatever the content we are going to write, for that we need to give some format. For that, we are creating one CSS folder inside that style sheet, like that we are going to create it. A normal HTML page, I'm telling. And for the CSS, we are adding like this. And if we need any jQuery, for that we need to create a separate JavaScript folder. Okay, and like this, we need to create, we need to develop all the folders and files, whatever we need for our projects. Okay, but if it is an framework, if you move on to the framework in Angular, particularly in Angular, I'm telling right now. So we have one command for the component creation. Okay, so if you enter the command in your command prompt for the component creation, that command will automatically create the HTML page, TS file, that is TypeScript file, and the CSS file, and the spec file. Spec file is for the testing. Okay, so for all the files, it will automatically created in a single component folder, and no need to create our own HTML file, CSS file separately. Okay, everything will created here. Okay, and how it is creating and how to write that command, everything will say it. And as well as it is a JavaScript framework based development platform. Okay, and Angular is an completely rewrite from the same team that build Angular JS. So Angular JS is the first version, and in Angular JS, after that only Angular we developed. Okay, Angular JS is fully written in a JavaScript. Okay, in Angular we can write JavaScript and as well as TypeScript. Okay, so there also we are having a front end, back end. Okay, we are having some data types, everything. But right now we are going to learn an Angular. Okay, not an Angular JS. And in Angular, what are the variables, how to create the functions, how to handle the event, everything we'll see that while we creating the application. And next, we need to understand about the Angular components and templates, directories, and dependency injections, everything. So right now only I explained the component, and template is nothing but it's an HTML file. Okay, so each and every component we are having an HTML file, and that file only is a template. Okay, while we move on to the project, in project structure I will explain you briefly about this, about the component and as well as template, and directory also here we are having, and we have a dependency injections, ng modules, like that we are having some dependency injections here, and for what purpose we are going to use it, so everything we'll see. And what are the dependency injections, directories we are having, everything in practical sessions we need to, will learn briefly about this. And mainly we have to go through this four types of framework, like a component based framework, template, directory, and dependency injections. And next, Angular version. Now, the Angular current version is 19.1. It was released in the week of January 13th, 2025. Okay, so this year, January 13th only, it's released. And the earlier version of Angular is Angular 2. Okay, then later it was named just an Angular. So why we are calling like Angular? Just we are not telling like Angular 17, Angular 18 like that. Why? Because each and every 6 months once the new version will released. Okay, the major version is released. After that, the new version will released every 6 months. So defaultly we are naming like an Angular. Okay, and no need to tell like Angular 19, Angular 18, 18.1, 19.1 like that. So just we can tell we learned Angular. So once you create any project, whatever the project you are going to create at that particular time, whatever the recent version we are having, only in that version we can able to develop the application. Okay, and after that, if it is an existing project, okay, in that time you need to work it in that particular system, that particular project. Now in that time we can upgrade that version, we can update it, or else we can, if you need to downgrade also, we can download everything. We need to write it only in a command. Okay, so not in a software. Okay, so we have an command for that, and using that command how to install an Angular, everything we'll see that. And next we'll move on to the pre-requirement. So once you are going to get into that Angular application, you need to develop the Angular framework. Now you have to understand about the HTML and the CSS. This is a basic, we need to learn this. And as well as JavaScript and TypeScript. And here I'm going to write the TypeScript code, okay, not a JavaScript code to develop the Angular application. So I'm going to use a TypeScript code. It is a superset of JavaScript. And if you understand JavaScript, TypeScript is very easy to learn. Okay, and in this syllabus, first I'm going to cover a TypeScript. After that only we will move on to the Angular application. And we have to learn the basic knowledge about an object oriented programming language. In TypeScript I will teach you. And if you know this, or if you're not learned the object oriented programming language, this is the first time you are going to learn, no? We can learn it in TypeScript. Okay, here I will teach you in TypeScript the object oriented concept. Otherwise, if you learned already in C++ or Java, no, that knowledge is also enough. But here we have some variable declaration and function definition, everything, something difference we need to write it. Only that concept is same only, but only that logic, whatever the how to declare the variables and function definitions, that one only we have to learn. Okay, if I'm telling that concept in Angular, if you know that classes and object process, now you can able to understand here. Okay, so this is a basic requirement we need to learn this Angular application now. And then next, about software, like Angular software. If you are going to install an Angular software, it is not a software pack. Okay, first that one you have to understand. Like if it is in Java or C++ or C++ Turbo C, Java JDK, you have to install it. And as well as Python software is there. Okay, everything you can download it and you can install it. But Angular is not like that. It is a CLI, that is command line interface. Okay, using command line interface, we need to install the Angular. Okay, and for this we are having a separate command. Okay, so how to install this Angular application in your system, Angular software in your system using command line interface, I will tell you. But before that, you have to confirm whether in your system you have a Node.js or not. Okay, so if you install the Node.js, and then you have to install the npm package. Okay, and then only it will allow you to install the npm package. And this npm package is a node package manager, and if you install this, then only we can able to install the Angular software. Okay, Angular application in your system. So before that you have to install the node js. Okay, in node js only we are having an npm package, so we have to install this one. Okay, and how to install the Angular CLI in your system. Now, this is the command. That is, if you install this Node.js, you will get an npm command. Okay, so using this, you have to open one npm normal command window. In that, you have to type it npm install -g is in global at angular slash CLI. Like that, we have to write it. So if you write this command in your system, automatically in globally the Angular CLI will installed. Okay. So after installation, we can check using this ng hyphen version. Using this, we can check whether the Angular is installed or not. Okay. In the same way, if we need to create the project, we need to use this ng new first Angular app. Like that, we can give the project name. Okay, so whatever the project name you are going to create, using this name, it will create one folder, and inside that, related to that Angular application, whatever the basic code we need, or whatever the files folders we need, everything will create it there. Okay, node module folder, everything it will create there. Okay, so like this way we have to install the Angular CLI in your system. But in practically, I will tell you this command how to write it. Okay, so don't worry about this command right now. In the same way, if you are going to create a component, service, modules, for all the thing, we have a separate command. And how to write that command, how to create the component and the service class, component, service class and model class, everything we'll see that. And then next we'll move on to the link. So here we are having a software link. Like if you need to install the Node.js, this is a professional link. Okay, you can go to this link and download it in your system and install it. And for the Angular installation, this is the installation link. How to install everything they given here. Okay, so we will use this link. Okay, just note it down, and before that you install the Node.js in your system, and get ready for the TypeScript, and as well as the basic concept of HTML and the CSS, and then we will move on to the Angular application. Okay, so like this way I'm going to take this tutorial in this order, and directly I'm not going to take an Angular here, because I'm going to write a HTML code and as well as a CSS code and everything. I will give you the basic knowledge how to create the basic HTML page, and how to link the CSS code in HTML page. Like that we will do it some pages, web pages, and after that we'll move on to the Angular application. Okay, so like this way we'll take this session. Okay, so you just install the Node.js in your system. Okay, and we need a visual code editor, and we need to install the visual code editor, and using this link you can download it. And in this visual code editor only I'm going to open our project. Okay, so this is an IDE, and using this after creating the project, how to open that project in Visual Code, and everything we'll see that. So first you have to get ready with your Node.js and as well as your Visual Code editor. Only this two software we need right now. And in this, first we will learn the HTML and the CSS and as well as basics of JavaScript. And then we'll move on to the TypeScript. Okay, and TypeScript I will cover some of the object oriented concept also here, and then we will move on to the Angular. Okay, and in Angular, how to create the Angular application, and first how to install the global Angular CLI in our system using npm package. Okay, and how to create the applications, component, service class, module class, and everything. One by one we will see it. Okay, so this is the software we need, and in next session we'll start the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript basics. Whatever the concept we need to understand, that I will explain you. Okay, and I will give the brief explanation about the TypeScript code and as well as an Angular. Okay, that is the main session we are going to cover in this. Okay, thanks for watching.